The Lake of the Ozarks is only worth going to between Memorial Day and Labor Day. False. There's nothing to do with the Lake of the Ozarks outside of the summertime. False. Everything shuts down after Labor Day at the Lake of the Ozarks. False. If you hadn't guessed, this episode is all about the things to do in the off season at the Lake of the Ozarks, and even more specifically, in the winter. We are going to highlight 5 of the best things to do in the wintertime at the Lake of the Ozarks, and we're even going to throw in some bonus activities that you can do with your family and your kids. Let's check it out. So although the Lake of the Ozarks is a great place to be in the summertime, and for many of us, it is the time that we just so much cherish. We look forward to the summertime boating season at the Lake of the Ozarks, and it is magnificent. If you're not getting down here in the off season, and you're not coming down to check out all that there is to do at the Lake of the Ozarks in the winter months, you are absolutely missing out. So let's start with number 1, the hiking and the scenic overlooks in the state parks. Lake of the Ozarks state parks are home to 23 trails that cover over 30 miles of scenic hiking. Some of the favorites are Hahatonka in Camdenton. You know about Hahatonka because I go there often. There are countless trails just inside of Hahatonka, some with magnificent views where there's castle ruins overlooking the Hahatonka Cove and the spring. Some of them are super easy, some of them very challenging for those of you looking for a little extra exercise. Then you got the Lake of the Ozarks State Park, which you're all very familiar with in the Grand Glaze arm of Lake of the Ozarks. One of the favorite trails at Lake of the Ozarks State Park is the Trail of 4 Winds. It's a great longer hike with diverse landscape. The park offers many trails, many of them very quiet and easy to traverse. Lastly, and another one that we'll cover over a variety of events that go on at the Lake of the Ozarks in the wintertime, is the Bagnell Dam overlook. From the top of the Bagnell Dam all the way down to the bottom, you've got all kinds of trails and incredible scenery all around the dam, both above and below the Bagnell Dam. So whether you are a seasoned hiker, somebody like myself who's going out for exercise, or you're somebody just out for a leisurely jaunt, you've got tons of options at the Lake of the Ozarks. And the wintertime presents some incredible opportunities for some beautiful scenery. Now, I mentioned that the summertime, of course, is the best time to be down here at the Lake of the Ozarks and to do boating, but one might argue, and many locals would definitely make the case, that the off-season, specifically the wintertime, is actually a great time to go boating at the Lake of the Ozarks. Not only is there no boat traffic whatsoever, but as most of you know with Missouri weather, oftentimes we will get those random 60, 70 degree days anytime in December, January, February, and into the spring. And not just boating, but there are countless places down here at the lake where you can rent kayaks. Maybe you're not a little aggressive enough to go paddleboarding this time of year, but kayaking is a phenomenal activity that many people enjoy at the Lake of the Ozarks, especially in the wintertime. And it's not just the boating, but it's also the fishing. Fishing at the Lake of the Ozarks is one of the most underrated things to do down here at the lake. Now, if you're a fisherman, you already know it's an incredible lake to fish. But if you've never been down here and actually fished before, there are so many fishing guides. Many of you know Smith's Fishing Adventures, Jason Smith, from some of the videos that we've done where we've highlighted his service, where he focuses on the higher mile markers of the lake. He focuses on catfish, crappie, and of course in the springtime during spoonbill season, he of course has the world record spoonbill caught right here at the Lake of the Ozarks. But there are other fishing guides that also focus on bass fishing, and there are bass fishing tournaments all year long here at the Lake of the Ozarks. Oh, and I left out walleye. Yes, that's right. There's walleye in the Lake of the Ozarks, and the off season is arguably one of the best times to go walleye fishing here at the Lake of the Ozarks. Now, if you want to get involved and bring your boat down and get into a bass fishing tournament, go over to bassingbob.com. He has got the entire tournament schedule at the Lake of the Ozarks. And when you check this out, you will see that there is bass fishing tournaments in November, December, January, February. There's something going on almost every weekend in terms of bass fishing tournaments. And be sure to check around because there's also opportunities for crappie tournaments as well. Now, as we all know, the holidays are right around the corner, and the holiday season provides a lot of opportunities for a lot of fun activities down here at the Lake of the Ozarks. There are several awesome holiday light displays during the Christmas season. Probably the most well known is the Enchanted Village of Lights in the Lorry Fairgrounds. It's a must-see display during the holiday season, and you get to drive through the park in the warmth of your car. Osage Beach Holiday Lights in the Park also goes on this off-season. And don't forget about Deck the Docks. If you've got the opportunity to go out on a lake cruise, many of the full-timers down here will decorate their docks in Christmas lights, and you get a really cool opportunity to check out Christmas lights from the water. That's not something you get to do every day. One of our favorite things to do during the holidays is go to the Christmas Village in Old Kinderhook. So many of you already know that they take their beach volleyball area right outside the lodge and turn it into an ice skating rink. The ice skating rink is open from Thanksgiving all the way through the end of February. And not only do they have many days and nights when you can go there and ice skate with your family, but they also host many youth hockey tournaments during the winter season. Now, I mentioned the Christmas Village at Old Kinderhook. From November 23rd through December 17th, they've got holiday hayrides, they've got Santa's Workshop, they've got Santa and Mrs. Claus, they've got DIY ornaments and all sorts of Christmas snacks, gingerbread house decorating, cookie decorating, local performers on the ice skating rink, and a whole hell of a lot more going on right here inside of Old Kinderhook. If you haven't done it before, you absolutely have to check it out. And for the more adventurous types, there's always a polar plunge every winter, weather permitting. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't mention all of the awesome eateries and restaurants and breweries and wineries that exist at the Lake of the Ozarks. And along those misconceptions that I mentioned in the very beginning, a lot of people just assume that all of the lake bars and many of the restaurants close in the off season. Yes, some do, but many stay open. Some of the best spots for some amazing meals at Lake of the Ozarks, especially when you want to get inside and stay warm and cozy, are JB Hook's, Blue Heron, Baxter's, 1932 Reserve, and the Trophy Room at Old Kinderhook. All of those restaurants have incredible fine dining. But there's plenty of other cool places to go to as well. Horny Toads at Camden at the Lake, Lake House 13, Blue Cat Lounge, Papa Chubby's, Redhead Lakeside Grill, Shorty Pants Lounge, Surfside Bar and Grill, Tap and Grill, and the Wet Spot, to name just a few of the many restaurants that are open all year round at the Lake of the Ozarks. And I mentioned breweries. Two of the must visits are the Ozark Distillery and Brewery and the Lake of the Ozarks Brewing Company. But it's not just beer and spirits, it's also wine. Seven Springs Winery and Shawnee Bluff Winery are open all year round for you to take your date for a glass of vino. And if you haven't been to one of those wineries, they have some incredible lake views. Now let's move on to the category that is going to probably trigger your wife or girlfriend. Spas and wellness retreats. Yes, there are a ton of spas down here, from Spa Chic-y at Lodge of the Four Seasons, the Spa at Margaritaville, or the Spa at Old Kinderhook. And let's not forget the many rentals, the Airbnbs that you can get, like White Oak Landing from Grand Welcome, that have hot tubs at their properties. And many of these properties also have fireplaces. So imagine taking a getaway and just getting away down to the Lake of the Ozarks, where it is quiet and serene, and you've got this beautiful, picturesque, quiet lake, sitting by a warm campfire, maybe sitting around a fire pit outside of the property, or sitting in the hot tub. Check with Grand Welcome at the Lake of the Ozarks for their rental opportunities, or one of the many other rental companies down here at the lake. Now, those are probably the top 5 things that I would say are the best things to do during the wintertime, but there's a whole hell of a lot more that I haven't even mentioned that we're gonna call category 6 that are very specifically family friendly. If you've followed me for a while, you already know that one of my favorite places to take my 5-year-old daughter to is Minor Mike's in Osage Beach. Not only does it have an indoor go-kart track, but it has got an arcade that is 2 levels with rides for the little ones. It's got an entire jungle gym area for your little kids or grandkids. And to be honest with you, as a dad who likes to take his kids to arcades, it is by far the most affordable arcade that I take my kids to. If you're an arcade junkie like we are and you like to collect all of those tickets that will get you nothingness, well, Minor Mike's is the perfect place to go fill that cup. And you might see us there. Now, the lake is too cold to be swimming in the off season, but there is a water park indoors, specifically at Margaritaville. The Jollymon Indoor Water Park is open all off season to enjoy the water slides, the lazy river, and all of the fun water activities in their indoor water park. It is fun for all ages. But it doesn't just stop there. There is the Laser Force laser tag zone in Osage Beach. There's multiple bowling alleys in and around the Lake of the Ozarks. Putt and Stuff Family Fun Center for those of you that want to get your indoor golfing game on. And for those of you that are into maybe a little bit more educational activity, you could take your family to Wilmore Lodge up in Lake Ozark right by the Bagnell Dam, or to the Camden County Museum, which is in Lynn Creek, and it has events going on all year long. And last but not least, but let's not forget about the caves that exist at the Lake of the Ozarks. And it's not just a retreat in the summertime when you're trying to get cool. It's also a retreat in the wintertime because they stay that even 50-something degree temperature all year long. You've got the Bridal Cave in Camdenton. You've got Jacob's Cave in Versailles, Ozark Caverns in Lake of the Ozarks State Park, and Stark Caverns in Eldon, Missouri. Literally, the caves cover and span every area at the Lake of the Ozarks. There is literally no shortage. Now, with everything that I've mentioned on this video today, you definitely want to check the websites, Google it, the local Lake of the Ozarks resources to double check their winter hours, because many of these places do have very specific hours in the wintertime, oftentimes really just around the weekends. But for many of you who are looking for something to do in the off season, the Lake of the Ozarks has a ton of opportunities. Whether you want to stay super active, whether you want to come down with the adults and have a great time, or you just want to get away with your significant other for a nice, quiet, serene time down here at the Lake of the Ozarks, you have got a ton of options. So, did I convince you to take a trip down here to the Lake of the Ozarks? Or are you maybe thinking more like me and saying, damn, I think I need to move to the Lake of the Ozarks full time? No matter which camp you're in, you already know that if you need any help with anything at the Lake of the Ozarks, whether it's buying and selling, whether it's renting, whether it's visiting and vacationing, feel free to reach out to us at Lake of the Ozarks Lifestyle, and we will get you connected to the best people and the best companies to get you well taken care of to enjoy your time at the Lake of the Ozarks. And as always, cheers to the good boy vodka.